welcome back. You're watching the Global Poker League. We are live this Wednesday evening. We're into the final week here of studio play for this season. It is all coming to a head, and tonight we are finding out which Eurasian teams will make the playoffs in Las Vegas. So far this evening, we've already seen Nanonoko, Randy Liu of the Hong Kong Stars take on Dominic Nietzsche of the Berlin Bears, and he was able to take that match down 2-1, 6 points, and it means Hong Kong get their place as well, in fact, as Berlin in the playoffs in Vegas. So congratulations to both of those teams. Those are the Eurasian Conference standings right now. And you can see just 3 teams are going to Vegas. 3 teams at the moment are not. Only one of these teams now, Paris, Rome, or London, will go to Vegas and make the playoffs. And there are so few points, just 3 points between London and Paris there. It is so close. Anything really could happen in these next 2 games. We're going to have Eric Danny, I hope, on the line, and he can explain in just a few moments what are the likely scenarios, what can happen, and how some of those teams will be able to go to Vegas and play in the playoffs. It's going to be extremely tight. There is going to be a lot of pressure on all of our players in these next few games, so do stay with us. They're going to be epic heads-up matches as well. Justin Bonomo will be taking on Mustapha Kanit. Lasagna, Justin Bonomo we saw in action versus the Jungle Man just last week or the week before, and that was such a great game to watch. Jungle Man managed to sweep for the Berlin Bears. The Berlin Bears have been doing phenomenally well over the last few weeks. Since we reintroduced studio play here, the Berlin Bears have gone from strength to strength, from being in 6th place, 5th place. It was always Rome and Berlin right in the bottom of the standings. And since the epic 2 first-place finishes that we saw, that has made them skyrocket up the Eurasian standings. And now, thanks to Dominic Nietzsche, they are going to Vegas. Don't forget, you can download our app as well. It's our GPL TV app. You can keep up to date with all of the latest news, standings, and all of the latest episodes as well. Download it, available on iOS or on Android. Also, get your merchandise from our fan shop of your favorite team. I was hoping that Roland Boothby would be wearing his London Royals jersey. We'll have to find out why he's not. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. That second match of the evening will be coming your way very, very shortly. As we said, it's Justin Bonomo for the London Royals, and he is going to be in an epic heads-up match. He will be facing Rome Emperor Mustapha Kanit. We are able to go to Eric now, who is going to run us through a few scenarios here. Eric, 3 teams left, 1 place available, 3 points separating them all. What's going to happen?
Yeah, the easy answer to that, Laura, is that the loser of this match is out. The loser of this match cannot in any way, shape, or form make it to Las Vegas. So whoever loses this match between the amazing Mustapha Kanit, the first ever draft selection of the GPL, and of course the also amazing Justin Bonomo, the loser of this match, his team will unfortunately be eliminated no matter what. Now, it does get a little complicated. If there's a sweep, for example, one thing too, Laura, to note is that the winner of this match is not guaranteed a playoff spot whatsoever. Should there be a sweep? Well, it gets a little complicated. That would mean that Paris would need to sweep Moscow later on tonight. There are little implications here that should London sweep, Paris could actually cause a sudden death match should they win 2 matches. So we'll get to that a bit later. So the first focus for these 2 teams is a sweep. The sweep is needed in order to form some sort of, at least a chance to make the playoffs. That would mean that Paris would need to sweep on their end. That's going to be a tough task for Luno against Filatov later on today. Other things we do know, Laura, Moscow and Hong Kong will finish first and second. That's important. That means that those 2 teams will get the top 2 bonuses in that conference. So Moscow will finish first. Second place will belong to the Hong Kong Stars. And then 3rd and 4th still to be determined. Looking good for Berlin, but still not guaranteed. it does look like Hong Kong and Berlin, for the moment, would face each other again in the first round. So we could see that first game in the Cube in Vegas. It could be a rematch between Dominic Nietzsche and Randy Nanonoko Liu. If there's a 2-1 score here, well, again, it gets a little complex. At 2-1, let me read my notes here, Laura, because it is just insanity at this point. At 2-1 really basically means that Paris would still need to win the next game. And if they don't, well, then it would be over for Paris, and the winner of this match would advance. So a lot still going on. This one is really complex, where even a win is not enough to qualify for the playoffs, as Paris does get the opportunity to play their way in no matter what the result of this match. Paris is really hoping for a 2-1 score for either of these teams in order to make it a little easier. But if not, if there is a sweep in this match, it's going to be elimination no matter what for the loser of this match. But a sweep will cause some chaos in this next match. After that, it would mean that Alex Luneau would most likely have to sweep his way into the GPL playoffs. So I know that Fab Sewell is not responding to any of my DMs. I think he's extremely nervous from what I've been told by our good friend Alex Dreyfus.
I'm sure he is. Thank you so much, Eric, and hopefully we will have a little time to talk to you before the third and final match, because I'm going to be lost already at that point, I know. Thanks.
We'll have some fun, Laura.
All right, take care. Eric Danny there, live from Canada, I believe, Ottawa, and he will be back with us just before that third and final game of the evening. This one is going to be a big one. So as he said, whoever loses this is a goner. They're out of the picture. Let's focus on that. Let's head over to the desk in our commentary team now of Roland Boothby and George Danza. I know who he'll be rooting for later.
God save our gracious... So, I'm very sorry. We're always neutral in this commentary booth. My name's Roland in the booth, Boothby, joined once again by George Danza, Paris Aviator, and... you were pretty relaxed in that first game, George. I think this match might start to, get you a little rattled, especially if Rome, progressed towards a sweep, because we were going through the, standings, and we thought that a 2-1 win would be good for Paris, whatever the circumstances. But then I had another look at my chart, and I realised a sweep for Rome would actually mean a Paris sweep was required. So
yeah, that would be the worst for us.
Yeah, going to be as Eric said there, a 2-1 win for either of these sides wouldn't be too bad for Paris. Well, Mustapha Kanit, Justin Bonomo, really hard to call, but I mean, just we're in for a treat. You'd think these two of the best in the game.
Yeah, two of the best in the game, and we got Mustapha Kanit, who has a really interesting style of play. So it's not as boring as to watch two GTO freaks just click it against each other. But we have somebody in here who likes the light 4-bet. He likes his queen 4 suited. He has a couple of hands. He's gonna throw in some curveball balls, and that makes the match even more interesting.
We see Mustapha Kanit's stats, almost 8 million in earnings, the number one player, the number one money earner in Italian history, former GPI number 6, results dating back to 2009. He has been unstoppable in the heads-up variant of the GPL. He's won all his matches, played 4 times. He's beaten George Danza. He's also swept Jake Cody, and he's beaten Byron Kavanagh, and he beat Dimitri Urbanovich in that Moscow-Rome clash last week. So yeah, Mustapha definitely a tough player to beat in the heads-up form, in the heads-up variant of this GPL. Having said that, Justin Bonomo, again, incredibly tough opponent, and he's 12 million in tournament earnings. That's not easy to achieve, and. I was just saying to George that a sweep is not the result that he wants. Justin Bonomo's last 4 matches on the GPL have all been sweeps, one way or another. So he's all or nothing is our Justin, and he's actually really good to watch because he talks through his decisions, and he's an incredibly high-level thinker. So yeah, really kind of tense times here on the GPL. We're going to be getting to that game pretty soon. George. His team, Paris, coming up later. They've sent out Alexandre Luneau. You confident in Luneau? Do you think he's the sort of strongest heads-up player Paris have at their disposal?
Yeah, I think
Other
so.
than yourself, of course.
No, we had a little vote in the team. Who are we going to send out for the last match? and Luno was playing really well, and he had some good results in the last couple of matches. So it was a no-brainer. So we trust him fully, and
Yeah,
I
well,
think he's gonna get us to Las Vegas. And I have played Anatoly Filatov. I think I lost 2-1 too. And we have a good idea how he's playing, so he's well prepared and ready to win the match later on.
yeah, I think perhaps one of the advantages for Paris, or it may not play out as an advantage, for as far as Moscow are concerned, their season is done and dusted. They've clinched that top spot. They can't be caught. And although Filatov is an intensely, competitive opponent, it's kind of nice to know that he's not got anything at stake. And we're at the game, guys.
Okay.
So first, Justin Bonomo. I had a final table with him this year, but it was stud 8 of it. no limit hold'em.
I mean, Justin's someone who plays all the games well. He was obviously runner-up in the 50k Players Championship this summer. Going out in a pretty sick hand to Brian Rast, as it transpired.
And he's rank 14 in the GPI rankings right now, so he's not doing too bad the last couple of years.
Yeah, Justin puts consistently strong tournament performances. He had 4 final tables at the World Series. All of them in mixed games. Third in the 10k stud 8. Oh no, third in the 10k 6 max, and second in the horse, second in the Players Championship. So yeah, clearly a player who plays all the games well. Plays at a standing desk. You a fan of the standing desk, George?
I haven't tried it out,
No, I
but
think
it sounds like it might be good for the back and everything. He has a really straight position there. Blood flow to the brain looks fine too.
Yeah, good posture, I think, if you had to call it. But yeah, no, he says it helps him maintain focus, and well. So yeah, just as I was outlining there, Justin Bonomo's last 4 matches: sweep against Randy Liu, swept by Thiago Nishihima, sweep against Dominic Nietzsche, and then swept by Jungle Man last week. So he's got the kind of all or nothing vibe, possibly a characteristic of just how the games have gone. But the sweep for both these teams would be hugely advantageous, and both look pretty focused.
They look really focused. What's up? Not even
I mean, Justin was devastated at the result against Jungle Man last week. I mean, he ran appallingly, and absolutely determined to try and salvage playoff spot for London.
in spots like this, the ace high with a nice kicker has to call one bet for sure. No, Mustapha doesn't like the 3 at all. Because the small suited aces now all beat his ace 10, which was not the case before that, because the ace 3 and ace 4 was still behind him. He's just hoping that his ace high is good.
Check, and nice little pot to kick things off. Over to Justin. Both players with a gut shot here. Justin with the 5-high flush draw to go with it.
So now, if I got it correctly, I am rooting for Justin Bonomo and the London Royals, because if he wins it, no matter if he wins 2-1, then my Paris aviators can make it through it with a 2-1. If he sweeps, we only would get a play, a sudden death match against them if we win 2-1.
Yeah.
So that's the better scenario, because if Musti sweeps it, we have to sweep too.
Yep.
I got that one right.
Cooler in progress here.
Cooler right away here, the cooler for Musti.
London gonna need some help. Some kind of jack. Oh dear, this is not the start Justin Bonomo would be hoping for after.
There is still a lot of split pots. There is still the 7 to turn this one around.
Yeah, I think I'll take the jack or the 10. Is this a lead from Justin?
Yeah, he check raised the flop. He check raised the flop
Okay.
himself, and now he applies a little bit more pressure. Now Mustapha is thinking about going broke with the 4 here or not, and the queen is a decent kicker.
Looks like a card that not going to save Justin. I mean, I think Justin will continue betting for value here. And
yeah, with the nice kicker, Mustapha is never
this is gonna
folding a
be
4. If he had something like 3-4, he could think about the fold if Justin bets 15,000. But queen 4, we had a similar spot, but where the flush revert.
I want to sometimes check some 4s here, so it makes sense to check my 4s with the worst kickers here, which is why I'm checking this hand. If I had ace-4, I would be betting this river, or full house. If he bets, I will have to call, especially against Mustapha. He's capable of making crazy floats, and
this is looking ugly.
This is not
obviously
looking
he's
good.
capable of bluffing as well.
Okay, I mean, at least.
And half pot, yeah, nothing to do but call.
Wow. We saw that face on Justin a few times last week, and I mean, in a sense, it was kind of London slightly benefiting from Mustafa's small sizing there. He could have sized it up quite a bit bigger than what he did. And
The
Justin
question is
Bonomo,
how big can he go and still get value off it, but maybe even a pot size bet would have gotten a call from Justin.
seemed like Justin was setting himself up to call more or less anything with the river check, because he checks to induce bluffs as well, and I guess some of those bluffs are going to be on the bigger side.
It's a check call with king high and the backdoor king of diamonds. Another turn
Bad
card
start for London.
that helps Mustapha. Here it's close between betting and checking behind.
Okay, so Justin, she still under 40 bigs, not the end of the world. After a huge
we have
hand.
seen matches go up and down. It's not like the first hands decide the match. It's a 2-1 chip lead.
I mean, but Mustapha, you know, just flopping trip 4s again.
They're ultra focused. Look at them. Nobody wants to be the one that had the chance to qualify the team and then messed up on it.
Wow.
It's like a 3-of-a-kind machine.
Yeah, Justin in the past has been fairly inclined to talk through his decisions, but I think he feels in a match between players of this high quality and with so much at stake, probably best to keep his strategy to himself. Mustapha was, of course, the #1 pick on the first draft, first player drafted season 1 of the GPL. He's done the business for Max Pescatori.
Easy check call. I think the diamond is a trigger for Mustapha to go for a couple more barrels. So I think it would be okay to 3-barrel king high. He has a little bit of showdown value against hands like 9-10, 8-9, 10-8, where he just checks behind and wins it with a king high. So he doesn't have to bluff it, because it's not a spot where you're never ever good and you can tell a story, because the never ever good is not true. You have some showdown value against the straight draws. So it's not a must bluff. He could have used it, but chose not to. We don't know if wisely or not, because we don't know how Justin... He probably would have folded the 6, because he has so many better hands, like queens and jacks, that he can call down with, that he would have folded the 6. But in a vacuum, I don't know if the bluff is good there. And everybody always expects Musti to be bluffing, so he uses that quite well too, and just skips a couple of spots where you could do it, and just knows he's getting called too often. So what is Mustapha drinking? That's the question.
I didn't catch it. I mean, Justin's definitely on the ice cold water. I didn't catch what Mustapha's drink was. We do like to.
It looked like a dark iced tea.
We do like to speculate. And part of the fun of the GPL, you just get such a small glimpse into the player's world. And you're trying to like gather as much as you can from just one square of information.
So how do players think that like gray walls in the rooms? Gray walls, pink hair. That's telling us a bunch.
Yeah, we don't gather much from these two guys in this instance. Anatoly likes to play in front of his trophies. You play in front of, you play in front of a bookshelf. I seem to remember.
Yeah.
I think we had one night speculating what your kind of taste was when it comes to literature. It was. I don't think we got any particularly far.
These days it's mostly non-fiction. And not too many poker books. I'm over that.
I think I just tried to. Well, I just tried to name as many German authors as I could. I mean, just pretty lazy guesswork.
Whoa, that was 30 bigs. He just ships it.
Question from Donkey Hote. Is that Danza commentating? Yes, it is. We are absolutely privileged and honoured to be joined by George Danza. Going to be sweating his own team in the final match of the night. He's sweating this match too, certainly hoping that this match does not end in a sweep to the Rome Emperors. Paris do have their fate in their hands, but entering any GPL match needing a sweep is not a great spot to be in. Actually dragged George away from a day of paragliding to chain him to the commentary booth. He said he can go tomorrow if he does a good job.
Yeah, winds were a little bit too fast today. I might try it tomorrow again. There's a couple of places where you have a chance of taking off here in Malta. It's not the the perfect site where you can fly for a couple of 100 kilometers because the island is not that big, and you
Yeah,
have
I think the highest point in Malta is like, I don't know, 30 meters or something. So you haven't got any like
so
peaks.
it's challenging to get them in the air here. Oh, now we have interesting hand. Open ender against top pair. Justin is gonna continuation bet for sure. Is Mustapha valuing his hand so high and valuing it worth of protection that he's gonna check raise here? I like it. I like a check raise to 8,000 here. Because against Justin's stack size, he goes a little smaller. Against Justin's stack size, you just go broke with top pair, no matter what the kicker is. And
6 of spades. Okay.
that's a card that Mustapha didn't want to see. The heart got there and ace-4 got there. If he had ace-4 with ace of hearts, a hand like that would bet call the flop too. Now, that's what he likes again. So this game might be over if Mustapha decides to bet like 6,000 here and Justin thinks he still has folding equity. He might turn his hand into a bluff. Yeah, even smaller. That's a nice induce, very nice induce.
Seems like, well, I don't know. Mustapha seemed frustrated once he bet. Looked like it may have been some kind of misclick.
Oh, maybe he wanted to ship it for value and somehow forgot to add a number at the end and wanted to
he did some sort of hand,
Justin Bonomo in.
Some kind of hand gesture the minute he bet
But I just
3,700.
have like too many ace highs and worse pairs in my range to fold this hand, and I think not blocking the heart is good because you have lots of one heart hands. So I'm gonna look him up. Not happy about it.
I think in the end, a good misclick for Mustapha Kanit.
Yeah, because it was the perfect amount to make Justin really want to look it up. Now he's smiling again.
Another huge flop for Mustapha. He's not going to win much there. But things going the way of Rome so far in this first match. Both these teams needing some sort of victory to give themselves a chance of making the playoffs. Mustapha flopping best once again. Just to answer the question of non-Sibor, we are on a 10-minute delay, roughly.
This is a spot where the king high is not going to be good, but you have better bluffing hands, like a lot of small jacks that you want to barrel off with. But it looks like he wants to use it as a bluff.
Interesting.
Nice.
Quick fold by Mustapha Kanit there. I would have thought about it a bit longer because the 8 in his hand was one of the cards that Justin needed to make a hand that could bluff, right? The small straight and the medium straight both had an 8 in it, so the 8 was a perfect blocking card there for the opponent. And usually, if you are thinking about hero calling an over bluff, that's my trigger to do the call. If I'm blocking his hands that he would do the value bet with. So blocking both straights here with the 8 just takes away a lot of combinations that the overbet is doing as a value bet. So he's a little heavier on the bluffs, and when you're so polarized as you are with the overbet, where you either have you don't do the very slim value bets like top pair as an overbet. Yeah, you do either the straights or maybe a set or the bananas. That's the cards you choose to do the overbets with. And if you're blocking the good ones, It's just
You
more
gotta-
likely
you gotta
for
stick
him
it
to
in.
have the banana. So in Mustafa's hand, shoes, I would have thought about it at least for a good 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, me myself, I thought I was going to be sweating that one out, you know, urging the fold for, and he just went, "Boop," fold. Got another glimpse of Mustapha's drink there. Looks like it could be some sort of beer, like a real ale of some kind. Further examination needed.
Could be some peach juice too.
Yeah, it had a
If you go,
sort of slightly frothy head to it.
it's a race call, or just a plain chip. It's fine. Both lines. King Queen is a little bit too good to give the opponent a free flop with, for example, 10-7 that he just limps, and then he has a fair chance of outflopping you or outplaying you in position with a draw. So yeah. But you don't have to ship everything around 15 big blinds. You can still make a raise and maybe get the opponent to call, peel one with a queen 9 or stuff like that that you have dominated. He starts pushing quite early here. It's a little deeper
13 big blinds.
Yes.
7-5 diamonds.
So the heads up, pushing sheets. They usually start at 10 big blinds. Ooh, that's a nice card now for Justin to run a bluff. But he checked a little bit too quick to tell the story of a queen. Ace is okay, because sometimes you trap limp the ace with those kind of stacks. So, and he doesn't think that Mustapha ever has an ace, because he would have, against the limp, you just push all the aces out of position. So he can just ship all in here for a free 1,700.
Yeah,
it's not a lot that you get. No, because you're only getting half, because it's a split pot anyway. So he's pushing 10 times the amount he's winning. So it has to work a lot. But because he thinks after his limp Mustapha pushes all aces, it's gonna always work. So why not do it? So the reward is really low for that semi-bluff. Let's call it semi-bluff because it's for half of the pot to work. But the risk was also very low of being caught. It's gonna go bet call here, and they're gonna split it like
chop
friends.
this one up.
Now we see that in spots like that where it gets checked down, then top pair becomes really strong. If there wasn't even a continuation bet, then in spots like that where it goes check, 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 you can use the overbet with top pair just for the slim value overbet.
Queen high, good enough there for Mustapha to set Justin in. Feel like a confrontation's coming.
Oh, that could
be it.
Yeah, he's
we
gonna
go.
ship the king 5 suit.
Justin with a great chance to double up here. Ah! And the 5 flops.
It hurts a little bit.
Pain for London.
You could see him, dropping back. So now he has the jack.
King needed.
Oh, the jack.
Well,
counterfeits the 5, and
Justin Bonomo.
the ace now plays. That was an interesting run out the 7 there. It gave him a couple of more outs.
I've got to thank George for spotting it as well. 'Cause, I was just thinking, king, king, king. And yeah, I could have done something to myself there, and I wouldn't have actually needed to do it. I could have, you know, the desk could have taken a whack or something. So yeah, thank you to my co-commentator for spotting Justin's other outs there. So Justin Bonomo back into this one, and he flopped pretty strong here.
Yeah, that's where you want to start check raising with a 2 pair hands and use a couple of gut shots to balance that out. So.
Almost back to even stacks here, which going to should put the wind in Justin's sails. Mustapha's flops a little piece here. Not many possibilities for improvement, but
there were a lot of turn cards that Justin Bonomo was going to fire again.
Yeah.
Probably the deuce of spades, not one of them. Because then he's just always betting flop and turn. Okay, he's always betting flop and turn.
Nice.
Nicely spotted without gaining any equity.
Didn't even have to,
he just thinks that Mustapha doesn't have too many kings, and as long as he doesn't have a king, he's not going to call too often. So he uses that. Now he's going to reship the pocket 3s, and looks like he has a little bit of momentum going for him now.
Come on the Royals. It's looking bleak when that 5 hit the flop there. Small margins are going to decide this Eurasian conference. That river could be
hot. That's a flop where it might go in. Mustapha wants to check raise this. But Justin Bonomo with check 8 is just going to call here. Especially with the 8 of hearts in his hand too. This hand might play out interestingly, especially if no heart shows up. If a heart shows up, ace is very interesting. Because out of position, Mustapha is not checking so many aces, and then on this board, there is not a lot of aces that he would have check raised. He would have check called.
That's good news for me. Not that the ace was particularly likely to beat him, to be in his hand. Easily could have. 3-4's in his range, a little bit worried about that, but I think the 5 is overall a good card for me, much better than seeing a heart. I don't think he's check raising thin enough on the flop for me to think about value betting this, so I'm just going to check it.
Nice pot going over to Justin, and
he
feel a bit
solidly played it out. Not going for the thin value, which is a dangerous thing. If you go for thin value
against Jungleman last week, I kind of feel like this is the first chip lead I've had in a long time, so it feels good just to be here.
He's still a little bit salty about the last sweep, I guess.
Yeah, I think it hit him hard. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, just it was unreal at times.
He hesitated for a little bit there, because 3-8 on that board at least has some backdoor straight draws, so getting good odds. He thought about peeling it. King-Queen again, a hand is too strong here to check. You either raise it to around 3 times. That's what Mustapha... We saw that Justin Bonomo in a similar spot just chose to ship it in, which is fine too with 15 big blinds. That's what happens a lot if you raise it though, that you get called by the limp caller.
This is a little
And then it
precarious.
gets
Gonna
a
have to call at least
little
once.
bit more interesting.
Unless he does something silly like jams. Yeah, against third pot, certainly calling once.
Yeah, he has to call.
Interesting sizing by Musta always. Third pot to set up for pot left to play on the turn. I don't know if that means he's planning on betting all in on the turn or if he's planning on making it his 2-street hand.
So what Mustapha is thinking, opponent either has something like 6-7, 7-8, 7-9 suited, 10-jack, 10-9. Those, oh,
The
that's...
queen is a very ugly card for me.
Yeah, he immediately knows it. That after the check on the turn, if Mustapha doesn't have an ace, he's probably going to have a hand like king-jack suited, king-queen. And he just has to check
This
it
is
down.
one of the worst hands I could ever have on this river.
So now it gets really interesting. There was a hand that Opeshka the
Like
Silver.
8-9. It's really hard for me to think of worse hands I could possibly have on this river since I called the flop. So I'm gonna turn this hand into a bluff.
Yes, it was Opeshka the
You can have a
Silver
10 and queen that I
against
can get him off
Fino
of.
Holtz.
Well, yeah, in the World Series.
You can have a flush or an ace to play like this way. And I'm really not turning many hands at all into a bluff here. So I don't think he should be calling me pretty late here.
So the interesting part is the line is completely different. The hands are a little bit different, but we see that the bottom pair peels that you have to do often if you limp call hands like that. You can't fold a flop where you hit a pair in no limit hold'em. So you have to call the
Certainly
flop.
looks like he has a queen or a 10.
But after the river card,
queen,
often
maybe.
if you have bottom pair, you probably have exactly the worst hand you could have. If like a flush comes in here, because you would have called a flush, right? But now you have a good hand.
He should call with it.
So the worst hand would probably 8-9, not of diamonds. That would be the single worst hand he could have. But then again, a 7 might be a little bit better bluff. I like it a lot. And Mustapha is in trouble here.
I mean, the way that the league is poised just makes this decision so much more crucial. This decision is for this first match from Mustapha.
He did actually only bet third pot on the flop, so I could have like king 9 or king
Gets it
diamonds
through.
or some other weaker hands as well, but I still don't think I'm over bluffing by turning e7 into a bluff there.
Amazing hand.
That
That was
pretty crucial, of
beautiful.
course.
Beautifully played by Justin Bonomo
There were,
here.
50,000 chips in that pot.
You can't blame Mustapha Kanit for folding the second pair with a nice kicker there. But I just love it when the good players, they think it through, they do the right move, and then it not only works, but they get the opponent off the better hand too. So it was a real bluff. It's just so beautiful. It makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hand that separates, you know, the best in the world from just the regular kind of mortals. I mean, so many pairs just check that back with a, you know, I've got a pair, probably not good, but I'm just going to, you know, try and take it to showdown.
Especially this spot was really tempting to check it back because you're not really at the bottom of your range, which makes it easier if you go in with a plan like that. If I have the worst possible hand I could have here, I always bluff it. It makes it just easy to use it, right? But in this spot, he goes a little wider. That's one of the worst, but having the 7 in his hand actually helps him a little bit. Because the opponent now, he can't have a full house of 7s that likely, you know, he doesn't have ace-7 that often. The 7 just takes out a couple of good hands. And it worked out perfectly. Love it.
Just over 10 big blinds now for Mustapha. This match into hand 48. Pretty okay flop for Justin.
But 9-3 is too bad to go crazy on this one. Couple of backdoors,
Yeah,
but
3 to a straight, 3 to a flush.
using that is too much.
Feeling pretty tense in the studio, and looking pretty tense between these two guys. Hard to overestimate the importance of this first match and the outcome of the season 1 of the Global Poker League. Justin grinding Mustapha down. Picking up some.
You always see the small reactions by Justin
Yeah,
Bonomo. He's so focused, but then you see that he wasn't pleased by the opponent folding the button when he has jacks in the big blind. Oh, we got the Musti play. Just casually check calling the 6 high with backdoors that are not that likely and not close to the nuts.
I'm guessing he had a plan.
Now he's
See
gonna
if he executes it.
now he's gonna bet here. And there's no way Justin is gonna call the jack high because it doesn't make sense at all. He could pull out a random bluff here, but that's not Justin's style. He always has a reason for a
King queen
bluff.
against me in that big pot a while ago.
Yeah, Justin gonna feel pretty
I
satisfied.
think that is a mistake on his part.
Oh,
And the Robin too, nice.
yeah, gets the bluff through, then criticizes the laydown.
It's certainly
Yeah,
not
insult
horrible.
to injury. Literally. This could be in. Could be going in here.
Yes, it should. It should. It's less than 10 bigs. It's always a call with queen 10.
Super happy about getting in with queen 10, but definitely a mandatory call.
Huge pot here.
Ooh.
Great flop for Justin Bonomo. Any paint will do. Good card for Mustapha, taking out some of the outs. Club won't do the job now. Ace-4 holds, and Justin Bonomo going to have to fight on in this one. And the chip leader swung back in the direction of Mustapha Kanit. I mean, these games are so finely balanced when you get towards the higher levels. One setback, all in pre, and the chip lead has changed hands back to the Rome Emperors. And Justin's moment was there. The flop, you know, really looking like it was going to be the one.
We could go into, I don't even know what it's called. Turbo time, whatever.
Hot 7. Easy check by
this will
Mustapha,
get
but is
checked
Justin going to
down.
bluff? No, queen high too good again.
It's good. Interesting spot with Jack
Yeah,
10.
again, a spot where I have to call, but I'm not going to be crushing his range.
Flip. Big pot here. Lots of opportunities, and 10 or a jack or a 9.
Or a queen.
Or a king or a queen. Lots of outs for Justin Bonomo. That's not one of them. Mustapha Kanit takes down the first game. Devastation for Justin
Super bad in
Bonomo.
these all-ins.
Can't win an all-in for love nor money. I mean, continuing from where he left off against Jungle Man. And, wow, I mean, Justin Bonomo there felt like it was his. I mean, it felt like it was his time. I mean, for me, that, you know, where he bluffed river with 7-8, the bottom pair of sevens, got Mustapha off the rivered king, or no, rivered queen, and you kind of felt that was Justin's time to.
That's usually when the commentators at the end of the match say that was the hand that won him the match, right? Because that was the one that theoretically won him the match if he was running okay on flips. But he just loses the flips and comes up with 0 points for the first one.
Well, huge result for the Rome Emperors there. London will need to bounce back and win the next 2 games, and going to rely on a bit of magic from Anatoly Furtov. So not the start that Justin Bonomo wanted. Pretty unlucky there for Justin. Well, a case of 2 flips in the end. Couldn't outrun Ace-4 with the Queen 10, and then couldn't find what seemed like half the deck there with the Jack 10 against the deuces. So. Looking grim for London Royals. Things haven't been going their way in the last few weeks. Well, not a good result for. The one result Paris didn't want was the sweep for Rome, and
exactly that would make it the hardest for Paris to go through. But it was a nice result for all the hardcore Rome Emperor fans, and I know there is a couple of emotionals out there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there'll be some tears in the booth, or some anxiety in this booth if Mustapha wins the next one. Well, there'll be tears and anxiety here. I mean, Justin Bonomo, we saw him going down 3-0 to Jungle Man in a match that he certainly didn't deserve to get swept in, possibly didn't even deserve to lose. Just been making solid decisions throughout the last 2 matches in the GPL, and has ended up losing 4 in a row, which is, just the worst time in the season to do it, really. As soon as we get into the kind of business end of the business end of the GPL, can't win a flip for love nor money.
Yeah, all the points count the same, actually. So the first 3 points you win are as important as the last 3 points, but it doesn't feel
so
like
much pressure
that.
at the end.
Yeah, I know. That's a bias. In every sport, they always say that's the one that cost us the championship, right? No, the other 3 points costed the championship all the points. Same. But it really feels like this is the time to shine, and this is the time to decide who's going to Las Vegas.
So Rome Emperors overtake Paris. That's the one thing we can know from this first result. London's still on the bottom. Going to need to pull out 6 points from somewhere. And
was that some Italian in the background?
Potentially.
Oh, instantly stepping on the gas here after winning the first one. Got that out of the way. 3-bet 7-9 off. That's one of the hands I don't know. I don't see. That's Mustapha there for you, right? I don't see how you structure your 3-betting range so that 7-9 offsuit pops up there, right? It has to be, I just won it, now I'm gonna smash him against the wall kind of thing, you know, the Italian one. Because how would you structure it that you think that 7-9 is right in there with the 3-betting hands?
Well, when I'm playing 100 and 200 Euro buy-in tournaments, I tend to 3-bet my good hands most often, and then sometimes I'll 3-bet a trashy hand to keep my opponents guessing. But I kind of like to 3-bet. I tell you, hands like King Deuce suited, Queen 4 suited, which I don't really care about seeing a flop.
There is ranges where that makes a lot of sense, right? But the 7. Whoa! He just folded the nut flush. Draw. For 1.5 times pot, yes.
Okay, some sort of bomb there by
Justin Bonomo, yeah. He
Bonomo.
really muscled him off that nut flush draw there.
Bonomo, bomb, oh no, thought Mustapha. Game 2. We were on the verge of a London victory there. The margins are so fine. Oh, it's my heart feels a little despondent. I feel like the feeling you get when you just bust a poker tournament. Slightly, even though it wasn't me. It's that disappointed feeling that just lingers for a while and eventually goes away.
Yeah, and you have to imagine all the teammates sitting there,
Yeah.
Liv is there, rooting.
Igor. Sam Trickett, Chris Moorman. God, so much talent in the London Royals.
Vanessa sitting on the couch, you know, petting the dogs
Yeah.
and rooting him on, and then he just loses 2 flips, and you can't throw the dogs out the window either. So now you just have to hope that he does better in the next ones.
So hard to figure out what Mustapha's putting back.
Yeah, but he came in well prepared. Some snacks,
Yeah,
cold drink.
He's preparing for the grind.
Oh, there, no respect there. We saw the players folding the deuce 6 today.
Yeah, Randy and Dominic weren't too keen on the 6 deuce earlier, but Mustapha, you feel, plays by a sort of a set of rules that are slightly kind of unique to him. He does some creative stuff. It's kind of pocket that could get interesting.
Yeah, but the 5s, most of the times, or most of the players are going to call it. I like the 3-bet with pocket 5s too. Yeah, why not? And now it could get really interesting because Mustapha's not folding King Jack. He's probably calling it.
I was 3-betting there to 4-bet all in. He did not give me the chance, though.
Is this a flop that Mustapha could continue with?
Yeah, the King High, you peel one off. Now the 4 is a decent card for another barrel with the 5s, and even a 3-barrel all in here is fine with the 5s. You picked up some equity, you're blocking a bunch of hands that want to continue here, like the Ace-5 that wants to continue here.
It's a reasonable hand to barrel with. I should have 6 outs. And he has plenty of 1-pair hands that don't have an ace in them to fold.
Very nice. His
Nice
analysis
continue.
is
Nice analysis from yourself,
but
George.
He's really, you know, going through the hands logically, not let the emotions pull over, and said, I'm just gonna get this damn Mustapha. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna pull his hair. No,
I'm learning a huge amount from you, and I mean, just there, if I have 5s there, I'm like, well, he's called me. I'm just gonna try and like check and hope he checks, and then hope he checks again. Like, I mean, I'm learning a lot of strategy here. Justin, now, can you let's put on a bit of pressure? This flop's all about Mustapha.
But with a lot of
I'm not check raise here.
backdoors, Justin wants to continue this hand. It's gonna go wrong because Musta is gonna bet here.
He's likely to take stabs. We saw him take a stab with middle pair last match, and I think that's a play that he likes to make.
So Bonomo is going to go to 10,000, and then Mustapha just ships it in and has a little bit of folding equity. And even if he gets called, you know, a king high flush draw is a pretty good hand with a lot of equity.
He's got an overcard, got a backdoor straight possibilities. Yeah, I mean, I really wish I could like send some sort of message to Justin. Don't do it.
There's lots of cards that I can shut the turn with as well. If you jammed, obviously I just fold.
No, it is.
Bleh.
Fortunate timing for Justin. Mustapha edging into a lead here, as you see the current standings scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Moscow, Hong Kong and Berlin guaranteed their spot in those playoffs at the end of November in Las Vegas.
So they already added the 3 points
Yep.
here.
Roma
For
showing
Rome,
the 3 points from the first game.
Have overtaken the Paris Aviators.
Ugly looking position for Paris and for London. Of course, Paris playing in the final game of the night. Alexandre Luneau against Anatoly Filatov. 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central European time. Things are going to stay tense. George will be taking us through both these games. Any questions for George Danza, get them in the Twitch chat or tweet at us at GPL. Use the hashtag GPL and we will answer those questions.
Wow, he folded the nut flush draw against my turn donk. I mean, I had a straight, but...
That's Mustapha.
Wow. That was a spot where actually the flop went check check and I led for 1.5x pot on the turn. Really surprised he folded that flush draw.
It felt a bit misclicky that fold. He kind of snap folded it as well.
Nah, it was 1.5
I mean,
times spot, and you only have a draw at that point.
Yeah.
So
It's just so quick. I mean, it felt like he could have sort of gone through a few different scenarios, but he just went jump fold. There you see, guys. GPL on Twitter. Don't be put off if you see any tweets relating to the Ghanaian Premier League. We have to share the hashtag with our friends down in Ghana. Justin going to check raise this?
This was a good hand to check raise flop, check turn with.
So linear 3-betting. King 10 suited.
Bit of momentum here for Justin.
Yeah, but that's a really bad flop for Musti. No backdoor flush draw. Not too many straight draws.
Yeah, picks up a pair.
After checking behind the flop, inducing a little bit of action with the top pair, is he raising the turn now? No. Easy. Quick answer there.
You a fan of this this turn lead from Mustapha? I mean, he's value betting.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's fine. You have to charge a couple of offsuit hands that have a diamond. You can't give them the river for free. If you think the opponent is gonna bet all of them, you can just check. Oh, that's a very thin value bet there. He's gonna be surprised. But that's what Mustapha goes for too. He thinks most of the times the opponent is not checking top pairs, so the king kicker is enough to value bet second pair, and he goes for a big thin value bet. And
Could have just as easily been a king instead.
So the flop was checked back by Justin with
exactly,
top pair.
that's
Okay,
the
yeah,
tricky,
so
the tricky line he used there.
I thought for some reason Mustapha was leading after some flop action, which surprised me a little bit. But.
No, exactly. Went check, then he bets the second pair with a nice kicker,
Okay,
which is
sense.
good on the turn, charge the opponent a little bit, and then on the river blank, he doesn't think the opponent has a good hand too often, and just value bets. This is interesting because 27 big blinds, he might reship this. No. It's good. Like the small aces if you have over 20 big blinds, it's really not that good of a play to reship them. You can get more out of it if the opponent doesn't believe you have too many aces in your range by calling it out of position. It's fine with ace-7, but you always have to call one barrel. Oh, that's the card you wanted to see there.
And well, this is the worst possible
Seven's
run-out
actually
for
a bad card for me. I think it's very likely he also has ace high and will be checking a lot. I mean, I guess he's 3-betting a lot of his ace highs, jamming some of them even pre-flop since we're shallow enough, but he still has a fair amount in his range. God, he had that 6-3 flow earlier, which makes me want to call. I don't want to be just like falling into his trap and just like forgetting GTO and making bad calls that he wants me to make though. I'm relatively high up on my range. He should be calling the flop with some king highs and stuff. I would bet less than half pot. Certainly missed flush draws and even like jack 10 off with or without a spade is a fine hand to call with against small sizing. Yeah, given his propensity to flow, I just can't fold here.
Yeah, pretty tough spot there for Justin.
He was right on the ace highs, but that kicker coming in got him by surprise.
Tough for Justin to catch a break.
He's still leading, decent lead. If you see people calling the min raise with jack 4 off, I mean he's 3-betting, but calling would be okay too. The shallower you get, the more you can actually call this really bad hands. Oh, that's interesting. On the open-ender against the second pair, no kicker. I think most of the times Justin is gonna win this hand. Because even if he gets the river without making the straight or hitting his queen, he's gonna go for a
I'll be still not folding. Think about jamming. He 3-bets a lot of trash hands. Like we saw him 3-bet 7-9 off earlier, and I think he's the type of guy to just 3-bet queen deuce off because he feels like it.
Not a bad read.
Yeah, nice read, Justin.
Double barrel.
Go with it.
Suck. I think he over c-bets and over folds, so I'm actually just gonna jam here. Versus most people, I would just call.
But Mustapha is able to call here with
I think
jack 4 and be a favorite,
him.
so...
I didn't actually think about that.
Yeah, he had a higher chance of making Mustapha fold if he calls here,
jack,
and then
I'm not in that shape at all. He might even make a bad
tries
fold with jack.
to get the bluff through on turn or the river, because now he can just, every decent check is gonna call, right? So the jack 9, he's thinking with the jack 4, and he should call. Mustapha should call second pair here. After 3-betting and making
Ace 10, 10, 9.
You're over folding if you fold.
Pretty happy to clean up some outs if he does fold.
That's what Justin Bonomo was also saying. Maybe he even makes a bad fold with a jack here, and that's exactly what Musty's thinking about. So Bonomo is on top of this, but now he just have the flips go his way, and he's gonna do it.
I was willing Bonomo to shove, and I forgot about the prospect that like there's a good chance Mustapha can call.
And is a favorite. Oh
Let
my
it
god,
go.
he
Nice.
folds it.
Justin, where he
well
wants
done.
to be in this match, just needs to find a way to close it out. Something he's failed to do 4 times consecutively for the London Royals, not through any particular fault of his own. Going to be finding himself looking to win some sort of all-in. Still at 6-12. Mustapha still with still just under 20 big blinds. Won't be panicking just yet.
Easy check call with any pair. I don't think you should value bet the 8. He's not getting called by too much. It's just a spot where it goes check check, and the little bit better hand takes it down a lot.
Mustapha deciding to elect whether to fire a second barrel here. Is a spot to go for value for Justin? Be a little bit thin.
I think it's okay. After this line again, I don't like the over bet with second pair, but kicker is okay-ish too. A jack kicker, because sometimes second pair is gonna check back twice, so you outkick him. It's not that many situations, but yeah, sometimes you get the thin call by a small pair. Worked well. Ooh, this might be a push for Mustapha. No, he decides not to go too crazy this time. Interesting again that the button has more aces in those kind of spots where he could trap limp, but the big blind is always gonna ship. Ace 10 good enough to go for 3 streets of value, so he's gonna go bet.
This is a spot where he's not going to have many aces in his range, and I will. So I want to be bluffing a lot on this turn. So I'm almost always going to bet my strong aces as well to balance that. I do have to check strong sometimes so that I can call some rivers, but the vast majority of the time I will be betting
showdown
my
here.
hand.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he ships.
This is an automatic jam, of course.
And A7 is automatic call, and we got the chips in the middle.
Justin Bonomo
Sorry I haven't been talking too much.
gonna again try and find something to take down one of these matches. Again, he comes up short. King or a jack needed. That's not good for Justin. Can't get the deal done in these all-in. Oh, there it is, Justin Bonomo. Finally getting a catching a break where he needs one, and this match is going to go to the final match. And well, I mean, it's set up for drama. We started the night knowing very little about how this league would shake up. We know that the first 2 teams are through. We still don't know. Only one from Paris, Rome, or London will be tip of my tongue. And well, it's set us up for an exciting finish.
So yeah, now it's really easy. The team who wins the third of these matches is gonna pull ahead, has the chance to qualify, and then it's all up to us, the Paris Aviators, to catch them. And Paris then has to win 2-1 at least to get Paris through. Else, if Paris loses against the Russians, Moscow Wolverines.
Yeah.
The player who wins it is gonna carry his team to Vegas. So it's really easy now.
Yeah, nice spot for Paris, because we knew at the start of this match that Paris could potentially need a sweep if Rome were to sweep. Now they know that just a win will do for Paris. So only one place available from the 3 teams. Justin Bonomo frustrated so much in that first game. Put on a real nice performance there. You know, he was, you know, on point. You know, he knew when to bluff. He showed good instincts, and I mean, a deserved winner in that final match. Or that second match.
He's definitely the deserver. If he gets sweep there again, it would be really unfair. So yes, but we're distracting a little bit from the fact that this is now the deciding match for those two.
I wasn't trying to cause any distractions. We have a Paris Aviator here. Wanted to just bring through the Paris element. Of course, deciding match coming up.
I'm sorry, that's the one. The player who wins this one gives his team the chance to get through. So this is exciting stuff before we get to even more exciting stuff.
Well, when the GPL format was being devised, it was a completely new project. We didn't know, whether the teams would be, completely spread out by the final week. And I mean, we couldn't have actually sort of designed it any better in terms of how the Eurasian conference is stacked up. Of course, I mean, in heads-up matches with 2-1 results so common, it does tend to keep teams like slightly tightly bunched. Things just gone incredible for the Montreal Nationals, which is why that the Americas conference was slightly more spread out. You had much more kind of boom and bust in that conference, but things have been nice and tight in the Eurasian standings throughout, almost.
King Jack 8 for, against me when I shoved the straight draw. I said during the hand he might make a bad fold with the jack, and I do think he has to call his jack combinations given how much is in the pot and how little's left to play. I'm really happy that I got through that hand. Even though it's tied 1-1 right now, I have to say that like the hands have gone incredibly well in my favor, except for the all-ins. I think I've definitely been getting the best of Mustapha so far. Unfortunately, even if I do win this 2-1, 1 second, let me finish that thought. I will be turning this into a bluff. Unfortunately, even if I do win 2-1, it all is just in Paris's hands. If they win, we're still out, and if they lose, we make the playoffs. But to even have a shot for that, I do need to win this game.
Nice bluff again.
I don't think it would be unreasonable to say that Justin's had the better of the two players so far. He seems to know where he's at. I mean, both players, you know, tournament beasts, but it seems like Justin might be slightly more experienced as a heads-up player.
I wouldn't put it like that. I just have the feeling that the creative spots where Mustapha shines, they have not come up in those two matches. It was mostly straightforward, where the technical good play by Justin Bonomo just has done better than the creative play.
Telling me to bet, so I will listen to it. For my randomizer, I just have a random number generator, 1 through 100, and 100 means I take the aggressive action, and 1 means I take the passive action.
So now we have one of those creative spots, right? Really deep pre-flop 3-bet pots. That's the one where the creative players shine, and that's what we are having right now. So high possibility that Mustapha is going to pull out the play out of his head right now, and then we're gonna see if Justin is really.
I think I'm actually ahead right now. Obviously, you could easily have a pair, though I did 3-bet. You chose not to 4-bet. I think most of his range is just ace-size, and I'll win if it goes check-check. I can certainly be behind, but I just think that I'm ahead this time.
Wow,
Nice
he was on top of that one. So there you go. That was the spot where Mustapha could have gotten creative and maybe turned it into a bluff. Like we always expect him to turn every hand into a bluff.
Oh,
but
this is a yeah.
No need for a bluff this time. King 9 is a little bit too weak, even though the bet's not big. Felt like he has enough ace highs to calls and some King 4, King 5 that has a little more equity than King 9. That was the creative. Yeah. He was going for the check raise there.
Yeah, nice escape there for Justin. Not that his hand was going to ever get him into too much trouble.
So yeah, now that's 1-1. I'm completely neutral, just for.
Do you have any, I don't know, close friends who play in either of those two either London or Rome? Is anyone you kind of like you'd be kind of happy for if they
I
went?
actually like those both teams a lot. I don't have that many close friends in the Russian team, for example. So, but with the Italian players and the
So
British
there's maybe
players,
half
we meet them on the tour a
Yeah.
lot.
average between the flop and bet size. This flop was a little bit smaller, turns a little bit bigger. I have a lot of no pair hands. My kicker's good. This is close. I think I have to continue with this. It's an interesting spot for a turn, or sorry, river check raise. Block a pair, block straights, block flushes. Kind of just have the best blockers. I might need to check jam. But you didn't bet, so I didn't get that chance.
He was already thinking about turning his pair into a bluff. He hadn't finished the thought. Mustapha always had checked the second nut low or whatever it was behind. Right now, Justin seems really focused. Musta a little bit rattled, but still both players focused and close together in this third match. But after winning the second one, also the momentum is always in favor of the player who won the second one to win the third one.
Yeah, it's like the sort of the mental contentness always switches after you go 1-0 up. You always see players so super relaxed. They know they're not getting swept. They know they're putting some points on the board. And the player who comes back from 1-0 down gets the wind in his sails and looks the more content.
It's enough to 3-bet and ship it.
Final match of the night is, of course, Alexandre Luneau for the Paris Aviators and Anatoly Filatov for the Moscow Wolverines. That match is coming up 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central European time. George will be a tense man in the booth.
Good turn for Mustapha here after he peeled quite light with that 5 high flush draw and the king. He's gonna value bet it, and there is no reason for Justin to call or to turn it into a bluff or anything, so he's just gonna fold. Yeah, these are the spots where it doesn't even take so long. He has a pair, right? But just the way it plays out on a monotone board, and then a card comes up that hits the open-enders and adds a couple of other stuffs, and you have bottom pair with no blockers to the flush and no interest in the hand. You can play those fast. You don't have to go all Kasoof on them. Just, you know, get rid of it.
Wow, picking up a lot of big hands here. Let's see if I can get action on any of them.
Nah.
Nope, no action.
Nope. Now that's a gut shot with a hand that doesn't have too much showdown value because you're behind the queen high, so he should take the initiative here and use it as a bluff. Yeah, that's it. That's what he had to do there.
Justin trying to do what he's done in the last 2 games and just build a chip lead and then be in a good position to take a big flip.
That's a gut shot. That's a hand
6-6 would be a fun card.
that you could use for a check raise. You don't have too much value, so check calling is a little bit weak, but just hands that have low chance of making a really good hand, you could use that to check raise. He decides that it's okay to check call too. So yeah, you don't see good players in heads ups folding gut shots too often. You know the old he played to a gut shot. It's of course he's gonna go broke. Helmuthian sentence doesn't apply to high stakes heads up matches. You always play your gut shot.
I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the #1 lessons I've learned from the GPL. and I take it to my 100 euro buy-in tournament. I'm like, well, I got a gut shot. I'm going to call.
But you see what you have to do. First you play the gut shot, and
you
then
see
if
what
you
happens,
don't make it, you
try
bluff. You know, that's exactly what Justin is doing here.
No, I mean, I just feel incredibly privileged to have just sat in this booth for 6 weeks looking at how the best players play cards. I mean, it just can't. I mean, it can't not leave something inside you.
Yeah, it's not bad being here in the booth watching them, but it's even better sitting at home, you know. Don't even have to have clothes on, putting the match on and sitting on the couch, maybe drinking a little bit of tea and watching the GPL.
I'll watch out for details of season 2 coming soon. Already heard from the big boss Alex Dreyfus. The trades will be allowed for season 2.
Oh, is that happening?
That was confirmed. Because the when the draft happened, as soon as the draft was made, people were talking about trades, and it was the GPL team who were at the hotel had a quick chat, and they said, look, no trades season 1. We're going to leave it there. But I think trades are going to be invoked for season 2. More details to be revealed.
I just hope that neither Musti or Justin gets traded away if they lose the last match. Now, you know, that will hurt.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, just tactically to see whether teams trade off players who are who perhaps weren't big name players before the GPL, but who've just performed especially well in the GPL. Players like Scott Ball, who wasn't much of a well-known player, but just a complete revelation for the Las Vegas Moneymakers. And then we've had players like Vanessa Selps, incredible player, but just hasn't been able to put any points on the board for London. Whatever she tries. Or whether people just still look at the kind of the GPI rankings, and there's new material that can come for sort of team managers to work from.
So yeah, if the captain's listening, I always tried to do a good job. I worked hard.
Oh yeah, you've. I mean, the only thing that you've lacked is volume.
Yes.
I think four matches. I think it was.
That's right. I didn't have too many.
I don't know whether that comes from the manager. I mean, some people just we just see them every week. Randy Liu, Olivier Busquet, and Anatoly. They're just constantly turning out, especially in the a lot of teams have a heads-up specialist which they use over and over. But I guess you've got a lot of good heads-up players. I mean, Mike Layer's been brilliant, and he's also great on camera. Luneau obviously deemed the strong player who going to try and do the business in the final match.
Yeah, you see him folding pretty quick. There's another thing. If you have a deuce in a hand and you get 3-bet and you don't have pocket deuce, it's probably time to consider a quick fold. Get rid of it. How deep are they? 36 big blinds. That's quite deep. Good for 3-bet, and I think he was ready to just go with it for 33 bigs with ace-10 suited. Fine enough.
Ooh.
Oh, now
Promising for.
Jacks again. He had a couple of times he had the jacks and never got any action, and now he's gonna get the action.
It's an action flop.
But how is Musta going to play it? Is he going to check call? Is he going to check raise? Check fold, only misclick possible.
King's not an ideal card, but I should still be ahead here a significant majority of the time, so I'm going to continue and hope that money goes in.
So we already know the plan that he's gonna bet call here. He's never bet folding against the shove.
The river blanks out, I will be shoving. But there's not many blanks. If he shoves, I will have to call.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Just a lot of combo draws, pair and straight draw, pair and flush draw.
Mustapha gets away from it.
Alright, totally fine taking that down in the turn.
Disciplined fold there by Mustapha with the
One over
straight
and
flush
the up
and the ace high. But the board was just not so nice for. If you want to call there, your ace high has to be good enough times, and the opponent is gonna check the river behind, because the ace high doesn't help you any if you always get bluffed off it.
Yeah.
So yeah, people forget that. They think often on the flop or on the turn, oh, my ace high is good enough here, but you have to add in.
You have to be able to get it to showdown as well.
How often do you get it to showdown against this player? So that's where you have to use the information you have on the opponents. How often are they going to give you that showdown? And Justin Bonomo is not a player to give you free showdowns if you don't deserve it. You know, you have to fight for your free showdowns against Justin Bonomo, and that's one of the parts why he can make a fold like that, where he has the open hand and the ace high.
Mustapha looks like he's loading up a second barrel here into Justin's top pair. Pretty safe run out for Justin. It would seem in trying to induce a bluff here, but Mustapha.
I actually think there's a good chance he would have fired that river if it wasn't a 9. I was planning on calling the river before the river card even peeled off. Kind of upset that that 9 came off. Think it might have cost me some money.
Yeah, I think he's right.
But I have quads,
Often.
so it's okay.
This is a reasonable flop for Justin Bonomo.
That's the ones you're allowed to check behind. Just especially the low quads. No, actually, because people might hit one of their 6 outs for a full house, right? If there's 3 deuces and they have the quad deuces, and you get something for sure out of that. So that's one of the spots where you have my permission to slow play.
My two options are like check that and hope that he hits a river, or hope that he has ace high or a better hand now and try to get 2 streets. I think I get 2 streets enough from ace high that I really do want to bet that turn. Inducing a bluff on the rivers is certainly a fine strategy too by checking that turn.
Mustapha turning top pair here.
I think I have enough no pair hands that I don't want to turn this into a bluff. Don't have enough 10s that I can just like bluff with every single hand.
So you could limp or raise here. Ah, shove. It's probably correct. I guess Justin is aware of what hands you should shove with less than 15 big blinds. Oh, this could be it.
Oh, this could be it.
it.
London Royals in with a chance. Dominating hand. Safe flop. Mustapha Kanit going to need a jack. Some sort of running straight opportunity.
We make the playoffs.
It's not going to be it. Jack needed for Mustapha Kanit. Well, London will be in. Oh my word.
Wow.
Oh my
Actually, I thought I was
word.
winning a hand for once.
Oh my word. That's Justin's thoughts there. Oh my word.
Oh dear. I mean, if any hand sort of summarizes how Justin Bonomo's run in the last couple of weeks, that hand is it.
And it could turn really sour here because Justin might want to use the King 5 suited to limp ship. Use it as limp call, which is fine.
His racing range here should have a lot of suited connectors that I'm way ahead of. He bet 40% pot. I think calling here is totally reasonable, especially with the backdoor flush draw.
Yes, and even against ace highs, he has the king or the 5. Ooh, do you turn the king high into a bluff now? I don't think so. Especially if he thinks that Mustapha is raising a lot of suited connectors. He doesn't want to bluff the king high here because he has showdown value. That's what he said by telling us that he thinks he's ahead so often, that he has showdown value. But does he have it anymore? Because the 8 hits a lot of suited connectors. So now he missed a bluff where he had a possibility to bluff. I don't know if it's a good one to use the king high as a bluff there or to show it down. Because how many worse hands do you have on a 9-3-3 board where you call the continuation bet, right? I don't think you have many worse hands than a king high. So he could have used it, and he did not.
I think I want to be checking on this board texture a lot. It's a pre-flop 3-better. And it's a good hand to check shove with.
Now that Mustapha checked behind once, I think he's gonna check behind 2 times too, so Justin should lead here to protect his hand.
So Justin Bonomo got to start the process again that he's done so well of building up a chip lead where where eventually he loses the all-in.
You don't know that. He might win the all-in.
That was a tough one to take. The board ran out so clean. You just didn't feel like it was coming.
No,
It's a clean board for the ace high.
that was a cross-check in the back.
When he
and
chooses
never saw
that
it
overly
coming.
large sizing, I think I just need to fold too many, just fold a lot of hands.
Justin going to bluff at this with the bottom of his range. No pair, no draw.
Ace is quite dry, so you don't want to bluff too much, but we saw him doing it before, that he just used a very dry situation where he had a little bit of a range advantage to go for some barrels.
Just gonna let him have this one.
Back to completely even stacks here, 50k apiece. 25 big blinds apiece. Justin trying to get some action with one of his big pairs, which he hasn't done so far.
And is this the hand where the number 1 draft pick blows up and ships it in with the Jack 4 suited?
He should just shove here because he wins every all-in. I have a lot of big hands, but I haven't gotten action on any of them.
That drink's never ending. Pretty tense here. Blinds 1K, 2K. This match will decide the fate of one of these teams, or will take the fate of one of these teams to the final match of the night. The loser of this match will not be going to the playoffs, will not be entering the cube.
I think he just got the message by Max saying, get your shit together. Take it, oh Musti. But there's Justin Bonomo in the way. And he has
He's
been
like
playing good today.
Yeah, he makes good poker decisions.
Oh, that was a quick one.
Yeah.
Snap it off with the ace before we got to... I think he doesn't want to tell us too many secrets now. It's an important match. I have
Stacks even again.
seen people float out of position there with the Jack 10. I was interested in the thoughts of Justin. That one. Come on, tell us what you're thinking. But he's actually one of the players who gives a real deep insight. So
Yeah, it's and he's done so throughout the
Yes.
GPL. I think you
That's really
possibly
good.
get to a point where the kind of the level of your opponent and the importance of the match plays too much of a role. Mustapha could shove here, I would imagine.
yes. It's shallow enough that you don't want to 3-bet, you just ship most of the hands. Like, all of the hands. Little piece for both. Check call here, a 5 would make a difference.
Spice things up a bit.
The ace just gonna slow it down probably. Mustapha has a piece, so he doesn't have to bluff. It just goes check, 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 check.
Justin happy to take his king to showdown, and just going to pull things close to level, and feel like this match is on the verge of reaching its conclusion. Jack 3 suited seems
This is close, I'm not sure.
pretty
what I'm
borderline
supposed to
here.
do Again, he's choosing larger than standard sizing. I didn't actually see what he did it with last time, unfortunately.
He did it with king queen suited.
Justin flopping best here. Trying to,
He's checking the hands all over to Mustapha. This means that he thinks Mustapha is betting a little bit too much in the limp pots, taking stabs too often, because if you think that the opponent is checking behind a lot, then you have to start, how do they call it, the donk bet?
Yep.
To bet into the opponent from out of position.
Oh, I didn't miss it. It's actually replaying now. He had King Queen when he shows the larger sizing. 20 big blinds deep.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Big
Mustapha is gonna raise it and Justin's gonna call it. It's not such a good hand to limp shove. Oh, they just take a flop with
Interesting,
such
yeah, I mean,
beautiful hands.
I thought the cards could be on their backs there.
So now,
Well,
who's
suited.
gonna bluff at it?
Stacks hovering around even. It's a turn card for ugly.
Does he ship it now? Because he could chip now. Mustapha doesn't have the heart in his hand so often if he thinks about calling. Because it was an overbet. So he's not on the draw most of the time. He has the made hand, and the made hand doesn't have a heart. So he knows that Mustapha doesn't have too many hearts. He must have had a hand like he has, but with the jack of hearts or 10 of hearts, and he might have raised it pre, you know. So this is a amazing spot to represent the heart here, where you know the opponent doesn't have too many hearts. And Justin is telling the story because he could have just overbetted there with the ace high, with the ace of hearts, or a random jack or 10 of hearts that he's now value betting. I love it. But Mustapha, he's not one to be fooled in spots like this. He knows what's up. He has a similar train of thoughts, and he wants to. It's a hero call with top 2 here, but he wants to hero call this one too.
I'll show you show, Musta. I'll show you show. I think I'm good. Ah, he's going to make the call. And devastating pot for Justin Bonomo. God.
Oh, that's worth a sip. That's worth a sip for Mustapha Kanit.
Justin all in here, and he may get the call from Mustapha Kanit. Going to have to hold here. Queen high. Good through the flop. Jack 7 or some running diamonds or some running straight cards needed. Safe turn card. Just needs to avoid a jack or a 7. Justin going to double up to 28k. This match will continue. Pretty tense here. Very, very tense. The season of the London Royals is on the line here.
It was actually a big mistake on my part. I'm sure Mustapha reasoned that I'm raising the vast majority of my aces pre-flop. And while I do check some and I can have some nut flush draws, I don't think Mustapha is going to give me credit for those. Yeah, so I definitely played that hand poorly. Good job, Mustapha, making a good call there.
Oh, that's
I honestly realized it like right after I bet. It was a big mistake.
that could have gone in the
Yeah.
5-7 suited. He could have shipped that one. So there you have the one creative pot where Musta just shines, where he can outthink the opponent, you know, and he did it. So even though Justin was playing nearly perfectly up to that moment, that one where slipped Mustapha, you know, that's the #1 players. They just grab you by the neck and then drag you out of the jungle.
Justin. You've got to go with the Jack Deuce now. Going to let it go. I feel like Queen Deuce is probably on the borderline there.
When do we have the next setup? Check 4.
What he got through there. So much tension. George Danza looking relaxed. Doesn't matter which team wins for him. He knows Paris. Well, he knows what Paris have to do in their match. 2-1 win will be enough. Justin running pretty card dead at the moment. And he picks up the pair. Mustapha lay down the 10-5, and either player finding a hand to go with here.
A spot where they're shipping and calling around 60%. That doesn't happen for long streams usually. It should be over any moment. It's still not over.
Wow.
How many deuces are there in
Justin,
this deck?
on one of the roughest, ugliest run of cards I think we've seen on the GPL for a player, you know, looking to get the chips in.
He blinded down nicely. So this is going in, this is a call, this is the setup. And if Justin doesn't hit here, the favorites, or the so-called favorites, might be out. He needs a 10 or
10
a
or a
6.
6 or some running hearts or running straight cards. There's a heart. Oh, great card in the deck. Best card in the deck for Justin Bonomo. 3, 8, heart, 6, 10. There it is. Justin Bonomo going to double up and live to fight another day. Turning the Jin card on the river, the 4 of hearts, giving Justin huge number of outs there, and Justin will live to fight another day. This match doesn't want to end. You knew it was going to be a night of drama. Justin, 10 jack suited here.
That's a push and
We're
a
going
call.
to call off
Yeah,
Mustapha.
the king high is a call.
This will be to take the stacks back to
What?
even. Slightly surprising laydown. I was expecting a call just from how I've seen games go so far on the GPL. Just under 10 bigs, king high. Surely Mustapha, surely Justin can't go on another run of bananas like he did before.
Ooh, 10, 7, 5, probably a check.
Good enough.
That's a call.
This is a call for
Queen 3 suited.
Justin.
Is a call.
You'll see his dominating position here, and if he can avoid an 8, this game is going to be turned on its head. A few backdoor possibilities. That's not one of them. Just an 8, and Justin Bonomo is in the driving seat. There it is. Justin Bonomo up to 62k, and this match has been flipped on its head once again.
I don't know what
And the
you
London
think
Royals.
3 suited is not a standard shove anywhere close to that stack size.
A little bit unimpressed by the shove with 8-3 by Mustapha. These two have let's see a flop now, and it's a huge flop for Mustapha.
Has Mustapha said one single word?
Don't think so. He said something in Italian, but it wasn't to us. All easy shove here for Mustapha. And well, we're
Close to even.
almost even. This match is well, thrills and spills from start to finish here. I think, and Justin just finding the ability to win an all-in just before it's too late.
Trap limp here with the ace-9. We have seen this before today.
It's out flopped. Well,
Oh, that's it.
this match going to be, oh, yeah, Mustapha going for not quite as surprising. He was just too limping to induce, and Justin Bonomo going to need an ace. There it is, Justin Bonomo finally going to run good on the GPL, barring a queen on the turn or river. A spade will help him somewhat, but only a queen here, and this could be London's night. There it is, Justin Bonomo doubling up to 96k. Mustapha left with one big blind, and well, Justin saved his run good when it really mattered here.
That was the setup that was bound to happen. One of the ace highs against the pair, you know, the king highs against the ace highs.
Free roll for Justin Bonomo here, looking to turn a club.
Hard for Musta.
Yeah. My apologies, my apologies. This is going to be chopped up, so Kanit lives on, and this match progresses on to hand 75. We're in the final level. We don't go any higher than 2k, 4k here on the GPL. This is going to be it for Mustapha Kanit.
If the eights hold here, Justin did his job to give the, oh, that's a very good flop. So it looks like Justin
Bonomo is going to be over in favor of
giving
Justin Bonomo.
them the chance. There it is. It's over. The London Royals still have the chance to advance if they get some help from the Moscow Wolverines.
Good game, Musta. You probably deserve to win that third game. With that good king-queen call, good match.
Royals. Well, impartiality, that was a really enjoyable match to see. Two great players just kind of going at it. And
awesome match. And you saw how the tension was getting to the players. There was no more joking around, you know, no more raising and then looking at the hand.
I mean, there was just, the margins are so fine here. Mustapha Kanit was one card away from the victory. Justin Bonomo turning the world when he was all in with 10-6 of hearts. And Mustapha Kanit just one card away from, you know, the possibility of Rome, you know, salvaging a playoff spot. Justin Bonomo getting it in 3 times in a row, managing to find that runga, which is has eluded him for the past couple of weeks. Now it's just down to Paris Avier. I was always going to come to that. Congratulations, Justin, because you know, we've seen him go through the ringer the last couple of weeks on the GPL. First defeat for Mustapha Kanit on the GPL, but all to do for Paris now to with the pressure on. And we are going to go over to Laura Cornelius in the booth, who should be with our winning player.
Go Paris!
Thanks, boys. What a game that was. Back and forth. Commiserations. The Rome Emperors are... they are out. They will not go to Vegas now. The London Royals still have a chance, thanks to Justin Bonomo, who I hope is there on the line. Wow, Justin, that was quite a match. Like, compared to some of the tournaments or games that you play, even though this is for points, how nervous were you playing that when it kept going back and forth?
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to stay focused. You saw me not doing much talking there. I just really knew how much was on the line. I was trying very hard to win this match.
Obviously, yeah, at some points it was so easily going one way and then the other. You seemed to get so unlucky at the all-ins at the beginning, but then when it really mattered, you got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now I'm feeling like there's no justice in poker. I think I outplayed him in the first game and totally deserved to win that. And then in the third game, I made a huge mistake. Mustapha almost certainly deserved to win that third game. That 7-5 off was a very bad bluff on my part. Mustapha made a great call. So yeah, I just feel like there's no justice and I won the game I shouldn't have and whatever. That's just poker. There's obviously luck involved.
I feel like after the game with Jungleman the other night as well, you obviously felt pretty bad about that, but you were getting really unlucky in that game as well. And we really thought that you would get a bit luckier after that one.
Yeah, I mean, I did finally get lucky in the third game. But, I mean, in these formats, they're so quick, the blinds are so big, there's obviously going to be a lot of luck involved, and that's just the nature of the game.
Indeed. Well, Rome are now out. They won't be able to make the playoffs. You're responsible for that. You guys still have a chance. Are you going to be watching this next match?
Actually, I have an appointment with my personal trainer in 20 minutes, so I'm going to miss it. But obviously, I understand it's important. I'm really hoping that Paris can't pull it out.
Well, we will be watching it. Thank you so much. Well done, Justin. 6 points to you guys, and I wish you all the best.
Right. Thanks a lot, Laura.
Thank you. Well, that's Justin Bonomo. He was able to eventually win that second game of the evening. It was quite a cracker, going back and forth, back and forth. Mustapha Kanit obviously probably not very happy about that. Rome are now unable to make the playoffs. Let's take a look at the standings. It's not ready. We will take a look at the standings very shortly. But that next match coming up for you this evening is going to be the Moscow Wolverines, Anatoly Filatov versus Alex Luno of the Paris Aviators. So Paris will need to win this match for them to advance to the playoffs. Anatoly Filatov will need to make a sweep 9 points if London are to make the playoffs. Everything is to play for in this very next match of the evening. Paris versus Moscow. We'll find out as well whether Anatoly Filatov is able to reclaim his top scorer title. At the moment, it's Nanonoko after the first game of the evening. Olivier Bousquet had it yesterday, but Anatoly has the chance, I think, actually to be level. He may not be able to take it over. There it is. There are the top scorers. So we can see that Filatov have 56 points. So in fact, he won't be able to reach Nanonoko. He will end on a level 65 points with Bousquet, even if he manages to sweep and pick up all 9 points in this last match of the evening. Let's take a look at the Eurasian Conference standings now after that match. So the London Royals are from 6th to 4th. They now have 156 points. You can see Rome in red now. They are fully out of this. 54 points for them. And the Paris Aviators with 153 points. So they need 6 points at least to go ahead and make the playoffs in Vegas. Everything's to play for in this very next match with, of course, Paris versus Moscow. So London obviously on the edge of their seats watching this final match of the evening. And it's not going to be in very long either. We will be back here in just around 30 minutes, half an hour's time for that very, very on the edge of your seat, exciting heads-up match between Alex Luno and Anatoly Filatov. Join us back here then. Take care.